What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be watching some Zach D Films YouTube Shorts compilation. I've been told this content is wild, out of pocket, some may say. And okay, I'm desperate for content, bro. I couldn't find nothing to react to today, so I went thinking, because that's what content creators are supposed to do. We gotta think of video ideas. So I'm like, let me do some mobile game ads. The compilations I got were ass. They were horrible. So I was thinking, and I got no other videos for y'all. No. So I gotta think of something fast. And then I found this channel. So yeah. Let's react to this and see how wild these videos are.
He threw a broken fridge down the mysterious hole, and even though he...
Alright, who does that? Who the hell does that?
They stuffed... He threw a broken fridge down the mysterious...
Alright, that's what we're gonna do.
Hole, and even though he waited to hear if it hit the bottom, no sound ever came back up. A neighbor threw his dead dog down there, and...
Whoa! Oh, that neighbor did not give a fuck. He did not give a fuck about his dogs. No siree, no proper burial. Just toss him down the well. Oh my god.
And a few days later, it was seen running through his garden, but living...
What?
Dogs refused to go near it. The owner of the property lowered 80,000 feet of fishing line, attaching weights to check the depth. He even added candy to the end. In case he was hitting water, the candy would dissolve. But it still never touched the bottom. Eventually, black vans showed up, and government agents seized his land, paying the man off and sending him to the other side of the world.
I mean, a free vacation and free money. Shit, government, I'll let you do your totally non-suspicious investigations. You could go ahead, call it Area 52. Go ahead.
And to this day, no one's been able to prove anything. He threw a broken fridge down the mysterious...
Yeah,
They stuffed sawdust into her limbs and made her skin out of swan skin. You see, a man had paid a doll maker to build an exact replica of his ex. He asked for soft layers under the skin to feel like real flesh, and a mouth that opened. And he even requested real hair to be sewn into the doll. Now, when it finally arrived, it looked nothing like her, but he kept it anyway. He dressed it in her clothes, placed it on the couch, and took it to parties. But after several months, he beheaded the doll before smashing it with bottles of wine. They stuffed sawdust into her limbs and made her...
What the fuck? What are the comments saying? The mouth that opened, you lost me there. Bro was way too desperate. The first schooner. Imagine how all that thing must have smelled.
her skin out of swan skin. You see, a man walked into his basement, but he never came back out. His wife went to check on him, but she didn't come out either. And their teenage son did the same thing. Finally, the grandmother went in after them and collapsed in the pile of bodies. You see, the family stored potatoes in their cellar, but as they rotted,
Killer potatoes? Boy, ain't no way. Killer what?
they released a toxic gas. As each family member entered, they were quickly suffocated, killed by their own spuds. A man walked into his basement, but he never came back out. Have you ever walked into a room to get something and instantly forget why you're there? Well, this actually happens because of the doorway. You see, your brain sees the doorway as the start of a new event, so your short-term memory is wiped to prepare your brain for what comes next, meaning you forget what you needed. To undo this, just step back into the hallway and retrace your steps. This reloads the mindset you left behind, allowing you to remember what you were doing. Have you ever walked into a room?
If nursing...
The machine started rolling straight toward his nephew, so he climbed onto the moving track trying to get to the cab, but it quickly pulled him under. His ribs snapped like twigs, puncturing a lung. When his head hit the ice, it popped an eye right out of the socket. Bone shards tore his liver, and his ankle shattered beneath the steel. He was airlifted in critical condition, convinced...
Critical condition?
Bone shards tore his liver, and
he's dead.
His ankle shattered beneath the steel. He was airlifted in critical condition, convinced he was going to die. Metal rods and screws stabilized his shattered leg, while plates and wires rebuilt his jaw and eye socket. He spent weeks in intensive care, unable to move and struggling to breathe. But just 1 year later, he was back on set, acting again. The machine started rolling straight toward his nephew.
He was acting... Yeah, alright. Also, let's not forget the real superheroes who respect cowards most. Seven Eyes. Jeremy Renner? Wait, so that's a true story? Oh my gosh, my headphones are all tangled up. Okay. This was a real story? Oh my, how did I not know about this? I knew he got in some kind of accident, but I thought it was just like he effed up his leg or something. No, he deadass almost died? Holy fuck, he actually did a Hawkeye moment in IRL.
If you flew a spaceship all the way to the edge of the universe, what would you find? Well, space might not actually end, but instead split into different universes, each with a different reality. Or you might find yourself back where you started, since space could actually exist in an infinite loop that curves in every direction. But it's possible that this is all just a simulation, created by a hyper-intelligent being. Reaching the edge would expose the limits of the program, hitting a wall of code that you could never break through. If you flew a spaceship all the way to the edge of the universe,
Stems multi-insect spray.
I actually did something.
It would quietly fly into the enemy's room and record conversations with tiny microphones hidden in its eyes. You see, engineers carefully crafted its wings so it could quietly hover and sneak around unnoticed. This would allow them to hear conversations from several hundred feet away. Then the
they
tiny
listening in,
microphones
though?
would transmit the audio back to a nearby receiver. But during tests, even a gentle breeze would cause it to crash, so the project was scrapped. It would quietly fly in. They cut off the cobra's head and pulled back the scales to reveal a stone. And they say this is made from unused venom. They're supposedly incredibly rare and sell for hundreds of dollars. People use them for good luck, and some say they can even heal other snake bites. But the thing is, snakes don't actually produce stones. The sellers fake the videos using shiny pieces of glass, and some people are fooled, killing endangered snakes for something that doesn't even exist. They cut off the cobra's head and pulled back the scales to reveal a.
Okay.
Starting at $4.49.
When you pull the trigger, the flint hits the steel, sending sparks into a small pan of gunpowder. That flash is supposed to ignite the main charge inside the barrel, which launches the bullet. But if the powder ignites without reaching the main charge, the flash goes off in the pan, and the bullet stays in the barrel. By the 1800s, a short-lived success was called a flash in the pan. When you pull the trigger, the flint hits the. If you took out all of the gold in A$AP Rocky's grills and melted it down, how much money would you get? Well, his grills only weigh about half an ounce, and most are made of 18-karat gold, which is only 75% real gold. This means there's around 0.38 ounces of pure gold in his mouth. And since gold is worth about $3,400 per ounce, his grills would only be worth about $1,200. To get $1 million, you would need over 20 pounds of gold in your mouth, and no one's jaw could ever hold that much. If you took out all of the gold in A$AP.
What the fuck?
The apple he was eating suddenly lodged in his throat while he was driving down a highway. It blocked his airway, causing him to lose consciousness. His truck veered across the road and slammed into the concrete median. The impact launched his chest into the steering wheel, but the force actually knocked the apple loose from his throat and out of his mouth, which ended up saving his life. The apple he was eating suddenly lodged in.
Oh shit. A car crash saved his life. Saved
his throat. The tattoo is carefully cut out of your skin after you die, and it's removed in one clean piece, making sure not to stretch the artwork. Next, it's soaked in chemicals that stop bacteria from eating your skin, and this also locks in the colors. Once it's preserved, the skin is flattened to keep its original shape, and finally, it's framed, allowing your loved ones to keep a part of you. The tattoo.
Like, when I want a Bronco tattoo on my heart, I want it to go with me. Or my heart is out here. I want that. You could, okay, maybe you could say the Super Bowl patch, but no. If I ever get a Bronco tattoo on right here, no. No. No realistic animation though. And here's the picture of him. Bro. Isn't that weird?
Could we stop a huge meteor with a Zach D Films tumbler? Well, if it was empty, the meteor. When they opened the tomb, they found an iron dagger inside. But back then, Egyptians didn't know how to make tools from iron. Even weirder, the metal had strange crystal patterns, which proved that it came from outer space. Now, most people think a meteorite landed in another kingdom, and the people there used the iron to make a knife. They gave it to Tut's grandfather, who passed it down to him. But others believe the space dagger wasn't made by humans at all, and that it actually came from aliens. When they opened the tomb,
Hey, man.
Here we go.
pugs used to have longer snouts, straighter spines, and open airways in the 1800s. But breeders kept wanting shorter snouts and curlier tails. Brothers and sisters were bred together for these looks, and eventually this led to flatter faces, bulging eyes, and tightly curled tails. Their squashed noses stopped them from breathing, while their skulls put pressure on their brains. Their eyes can pop out from shallow sockets, and their curly tails twist their spines. And these problems get worse with each new generation, meaning if we keep going, pugs will eventually die out. Pugs used to have longer snouts, straighter spines, and as soon as they started digging, one of their phones unlocked itself without anyone touching it. They stopped to watch as it opened apps, snapped screenshots, and even tried to call 911 over and over again. Now, they were digging in a pit that had mysteriously swallowed 45,000 gallons of water without a trace. They were trying to see what was going on underneath the ground, until the phone started going crazy. But it didn't look like it was glitching. It was like something was inside, trying to send a message. As soon as they started digging, one of their phones unlocked.
Okay, I love me some creepy stuff.
Would it be okay?
His dad went missing while walking the dog, and when the dog came back alone, the son called the police. But when they arrived, they arrested him. They told him his father was dead and insisted he was the murderer. Over the next 17 hours, they repeated this again and again. They even brought in his dog and threatened to put her down if he didn't confess. The man began to doubt his sanity. Soon, he started hitting himself, pulling out his hair and ripping his clothes.
Bro, this is low-key believable. This is low-key believable. Bro, hold on. This goes back to my junior year in high school. I had a class I was in junior year high school called American Problems in Criminology. First semester we were focused on criminology. Now kids or other people, when people tell you don't say anything without a lawyer, that's not an exaggeration. 'Cause oh my goodness, they will actually gaslight you, keep you in there for that long until you get a confession and then you write it down. Now, I know this because we watched a documentary. Apparently, some woman got raped and killed. R.I.P. to her. And they tried accusing the sailors. And they kept them in there. The sailors kept denying. But they were in there for so long, they lost their sanity. They were like, at this point, we might as well confess. I just want to get home. I just want to get out of here. And then you do it without even thinking. Next thing you know, you just admitted you did something. You just admitted you did even horrible things to that woman. Now, the public automatically views you as guilty. The jurors are going to automatically say you're guilty. Your lawyer can't even beat the case. So if you ever get in some shit with the cops, please don't say nothing and get a lawyer. For the love of God. Because I deadass believe this story is true. Just because of that moment right here. Hell, I don't know if y'all heard about the story of what happened in Manhattan around the 1990s. Manhattan, New York. I think it was 13 little kids who got accused of rape. Okay, because okay, the leading detective was racist. Let's be honest. Try to pin it on some kids, and even though the DNA of the white stuff that was found in the sock did not match the kids, we should have ended it there. They still bully these kids into confessing until one finally confessed. And the one that confessed, they promised they'll give him the best sentence. They give him the worst. And he had the worst prison sentence. The only reason people got off the offenders list is because some guy owned up to it years later. I forgot what they're called, but they're like, I wouldn't say famous, but they like, it became a trending topic. So, please, for the love of God, contact the lawyer, bro. Because holy shit, bro.
His sanity. Soon he started hitting himself, pulling out his hair and ripping his clothes. And finally, he admitted to the murder. But then the phone rang. It was the man's sister. It turned out his father was alive the entire time, and he had just gone to catch a train.
Excuse me? Oh, I'm suing. Oh, that's an easy lawsuit.
The man sued the city and won nearly $1 million.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I think we'll end it right there, because that was Rookie Yap session. Good shit, my guy. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. And I have nothing else to say. Let me know if you want to see more attack details so we can see 100%. I was told, because when I got this idea, it was a different channel. But the reaction YouTuber that was reacting to it said, this is worse than this channel. So I'm like, let me go do this channel first. Let me know if you don't want to see more. I think I want to see more. I want to see what that second channel is about. And I will see y'all later. Peace.